This is Basketball Talk Pro, and I'm Ron Ekker. Today I'm going to talk to you about the factors of success for coaching. The ones I'm going to deal with today are concerning probably the key factor in success, and that is yourself. That is what you are as a person. As I told you, we're going to go through 7 personal qualities of a coach starting on Sunday. And I just wanted to say a few words about that today so that I am clear in my purpose in going, of using 7 days in a row and going carefully over each quality in those 7 days. But it isn't only having the qualities, it's the process of developing the qualities. And it's just like being a player. You have certain skills that you have to develop in order to succeed. I think coaches have not only skills on the practice floor and on the games, but they have to have their own personal skills, and I call those qualities. Now I've come up with 7. I don't want to clutter with all kinds of qualities. I've talked to coaches about this, and most of them have all kinds of different qualities. I've narrowed it down to 7 because I don't think you can be too strung out. You can't be too fragmented. In fact, if you could develop 2 or 3 of these qualities I'm going to talk about and really make them strong qualities of yours, that probably would be enough. But how I've developed these qualities is through a number of areas of my own personal experience. My own personal experience with my personal development, my experience in succeeding and failing through the years, going away from certain qualities, avoiding certain qualities, forgetting certain qualities, how they have affected my career. But I'm also using the careers of others, my own observation of thousands of coaches, and I've seen all kinds. I've seen the kind that started here and just took off and had a tremendous success. And I've seen those that started at the same level and crashed and left the profession, leaving nothing for the world. And then, of course, there's a lot of them that stayed the same. So, from my observation, I found that these 7 qualities are very important in the success of coaching. And I'm going to take it a little farther than that as we go along here. My belief is that your personal qualities create your success or your failure. You have to look at yourself. This is something that very few coaches do. If I were to ask you about your career, you would a lot of them would talk to me about their defense, their drills, all of that. I don't find many people talking to me about I have to have better self-discipline. I don't have the passion that I should have. And these are the things that probably would solve most of their problems. I think you have to work on this. I think you have to prepare yourself just like a player prepares themselves. It's like a doctor prepares to have a successful operation. Business people prepare themselves to learn more about their career. I like what Abraham Lincoln said. As you know, he would chop down trees for his young life. And they asked him about it, how he would go about chopping down this really strong, big tree. And he said, if I had 8 hours to chop it down, I would spend 7 hours sharpening my axe and 1 hour chopping it down. Now, he wasn't only talking about sharpening your axe, but his axe. But that might be a good way for you to think about it every day, sharpening your axe to prepare for your life and the things that you're doing each day. Just stop and think, if you put an hour every day into preparing yourself, to making yourself better, sharpening your own axe to be able to, through reading, study. You could say, well, what am I going to do to practice and prepare myself better? Well, I gave you one the other day. You can study films for half an hour, and I will guarantee you in time that's going to make a big difference in your look at basketball. But you can also mental practice. You can mental practice the way you want to run a practice. You can mental practice how you want to live your life. You can mental practice every quality that I'm going to give you over that 7-day period. Mental practice is something everyone should do. And when you prepare that practice, you go through all those drills you want to run, and you need to sit down and say, what's the purpose of this drill? What am I going to get out of it? What do I need to get out of it? And then how am I going to present it to the players? How am I going, maybe a drill you've been running, how am I going to get them to get a little more out of that drill today? What am I going to say? You might want to tell them a story to clarify the importance of what they're doing. But this is the kind of, you're sharpening your axe when you do that. And when you do that, you not only affect yourself, but you affect others also. There's a lot of people, not maybe a lot, but there's a number of people that are affected by your team. I don't like to even think of them just as a team. It's an organization. There's managers that get the equipment ready. There's trainers. There's secretaries that help you with your written work. There's an athletic directors whose careers depend on it. There's owners whose financial stability depends on it. There's a lot of people that what you're doing are affected, and you affect the environment that they live in, that they work in, that they are a part of. When you develop yourself more, you're also developing those. Then there's another group, your players. How players will tend to mold themselves or reflect a lot of your qualities. When you've been in coaching a long time, and some of you I'm sure have been, what you find is that players come back to you. And a lot of times, at least for me, they tell me things that I have helped them with in their life that I don't even remember. It was a big thing to them. It was just a part of the daily work for me. And so it was not a thing that I really spent a lot of time thinking about him. I just did it because of my personal qualities. A lot of these guys that come back are very, very successful in their own life. And they will point to one little thing that happened when we were together that crystallized for them uh, their approaches and their thoughts, and it meant a lot to their success. Well, I'll just give you an example of how important that can be. In the United States alone, and I know there's coaches watching this who are in foreign countries, but I just don't know the statistics for their countries. But in the United States alone, there are approximately 300,000 coaches of all kinds, high school coaches, AAU coaches, college coaches, pro coaches, 300,000. In a 5-year period, what I come to believe, because I've talked to a lot of coaches, in a 5-year period, a coach will work intimately and directly with about 75 different players. Well, you take 300,000 coaches times 75 players, that's 22 million, over 22 million players. What an opportunity to impact our society, our world, really. Maybe we'd have more honest politicians. Maybe we wouldn't have so many greedy businessmen that go to jail for embezzling and other fraudulent activities. Maybe we'd have doctors that have more compassion for each of us as patients, and maybe we'd have hospital administrators who would not put so much pressure on doctors to perform for money instead of to perform for the value that they can give to each of their patients. We have a great opportunity as coaches. Well, the next 7 days that we are together, starting on Saturday the 27th, going to November 2nd, that's a week, 7 days, one quality for each day. In that week, you have 168 hours, sleeping, eating, working, but it's a total of 168 hours. These sessions will be a little bit shorter, so they probably will run maybe 7 minutes, 8 minutes. So in that 168 hours, less than an hour total will be spent on these qualities. I think it's going to be a very important hour for you to spend. So that's it. Now, I'll see you starting on Saturday, I hope. I know that some of you would rather have me talk about defense, offense, and these kind of things. But I kind of hold the ground here that in the long run, we can do more for you talking in these areas than just giving you another play or defense or something that we can do. And we will do that. But this will embellish you as a coach. So I hope that every one of you can gain and make your contribution to those 75 players that you are going to touch in the next 5 years.